You are always hogging that machine. Every day in and day out, you are on that machine. I have been trying to use that machine for 3 weeks, and every time I try, you're here. Well, today is my day. I want to use that machine. I need that machine. That machine needs me.
I fail to see any reason for your...
You fail to see. Can you see this, you son of a bitch?
Oh, my God.
Today is my day. My day.
Oh, you control yourself. This is a school, Grace. Hold up. Whoa,
My day.
I told you, this is a school. Whoa. Miss Bloom, please. Control yourself. Miss Bloom, stop it. First, come here.
Help.
Control yourself.
You're going to be all right now. Calm down. Who is that?
Oh, school psychologist.
Back to 56 pence, I wasn't prepared to translate that as I was doing that little tease.
Oh,
that
that's
little
right.
mark with the A and then the ring around it.
At?
See, that's what I said. Katie said she thought it was about.
Yeah. Oh.
But I'd never heard it. I'd never heard it said. I'd always seen the mark, but never heard it said. And then it sounded stupid when I said it. Violence at NBC.
I heard you around or about in the lunchroom.
See, there it is. Violence at NBC. GE Com. I mean,
well, Allison should know.
What is internet anyway?
Internet is that massive computer network, the one that's becoming really big now.
What do you mean? That's big. How does one? What do you write to it like mail?
No, a lot of people use it and communicate. I guess they can communicate with NBC writers and producers. Allison, can you explain what internet is?
No, she can't say anything in 10 seconds or less.
Oh, Allison will be in the studio shortly.
What does
it mean?
It's a giant computer network made up of started from.
Oh, I thought you were going to tell us what this was.
It's like a computer billboard.
It's not. It's a computer billboard, but it's nationwide. It's several universities and everything all joined together.
Right.
And others can access it.
Right.
And it's getting bigger and bigger all the time.
It came in really handy during the quake. A lot of people, that's how they were communicating out to tell family and loved ones they were okay because all the phone lines were down.
I was telling Katie and others.
But you don't need that. You don't need a phone line to operate internet. No, apparently not.
I was telling Katie.
The problem is that the current system of education was designed and conceived and structured for a different age. It was conceived in the intellectual culture of the Enlightenment and in the economic circumstances of the Industrial Revolution. Before the middle of the 19th century, there were no systems of public education. Not really. I mean, you could get educated by Jesuits, if you had the money. But public education, paid for from taxation, compulsory to everybody and free at the point of delivery, that was a revolutionary idea. And many people objected to it. They said it's not possible for many street kids, working class children, to benefit from public education. They're incapable of learning to read and write, and why are we spending time on this? So there's also built into it a whole series of assumptions about social structure and capacity. Real intelligence consists in the capacity for a certain type of deductive reasoning and a knowledge of the classics originally, what we come to think of as academic ability. And this is deep in the gene pool of public education, that there are really two types of people, academic and non-academic, smart people and non-smart people. And the consequence of that is that many brilliant people think they're not, because they've been judged against this particular view of the mind. So they suffer this. This is the modern epidemic, and it's as misplaced and it's as fictitious. This is the plague of ADHD. Now, this is a map of the incidence of ADHD in America, or prescriptions for ADHD. Don't mistake me here. I don't mean to say there is no such thing as attention deficit disorder. I'm not qualified to say if there is such a thing. I know that a great majority of psychologists and paediatricians think there is such a thing. But it's still a matter of debate. What I do know for a fact is it's not an epidemic. These kids are being medicated as routinely as we had our tonsils taken out. and on the same whimsical basis, and for the same reason, medical fashion. Our children are living in the most intensely stimulating period in the history of the earth. They're being besieged with information and calls for their attention from every platform, computers, from iPhones, from advertising holdings, from hundreds of television channels. And we're penalizing them now for getting distracted. From what? Boring stuff. At school, for the most part. It seems to me not a coincidence, totally, that the incidence of ADHD has risen in parallel with the growth of standardized testing. Now, these kids are being given Ritalin and Adderall and all manner of things, often quite dangerous drugs, to get them focused and calm them down. But according to this, attention deficit disorder increases as you travel east across the country. People start losing interest in Oklahoma. They can hardly think straight in Arkansas. And by the time they get to Washington, they've lost it completely. And there are separate reasons for that, I believe. It's a fictitious epidemic. If you think of it,
I've been teaching math for the last 5 years, and this is why I flipped my classroom. This is what my classroom used to look like. I was teaching to the middle group of the class, the students that could follow along with what we were doing, and we were going through the content, while I had a group of higher level students not challenged, bored with the information, ready to move forward. And I had a struggling group of students that were not receiving enough effective remediation. They didn't have the basic content they needed to be working on the content we were currently covering, or they needed more help in order to be successful. This led to a 90% use of class time being spent on delivery and review of content. 90% of the time I was at the front of the classroom lecturing to a group of students, and I wasn't meeting all of their needs. 10% of class time was actually spent on application, which led to, depending on students, to do the application needed to be successful. They had to go home or outside of class and work on applying the concepts that I was giving out in class. This constant battle of not reaching the needs of all students and feeling the need to differentiate for all of my learners allows teachers to feel overwhelmed and ineffective, because we see the need for differentiation, but there's just not enough time for effective differentiation. This called for a drastic change in how we teach. This is where flipping the classroom comes in. Now the students outside of class preload the content. They get the information they're going to need for class. They can pause, rewind, and rewatch the videos as many times as they need to. They can post questions online to their classmates or to the teacher. And it's a self-paced program where they can be remediated by going back and reviewing former topics, or they can work ahead when they've already mastered a concept and are ready to look forward. They get the content here before class, so that when they come into class, my whole classroom has now shifted, where I'm at the center of the class, working between these differentiated groups, focused on different pieces of application. I can now work between each of these groups that are moving at their own pace. This has created a 90% use of class time spent on application of the content, and 10% of class time is spent on delivery of content, when I can answer questions that have been posted or take any other questions that have come up from applying the content. Now in my classroom, all students are engaged and challenged. I have time to work with each group, give them individualized time and instruction as they need, and I can actually work between each of the groups to provide effective differentiation for all my varied groups of learners. My struggling students, my middle group of learners, and I can now extend and expand on my higher level students' prior knowledge and challenge them in the classroom.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you shall present will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
The course that you teach, is that sort of an in-classroom course, or is it a different type?
No, this is a distance learning course where we teach it online and requires activities by the student and that's based on the coursework in the book.
I'm sorry, would you go ahead and repeat that starting from the beginning?
Yes, on those weekly discussions.
As well as on psychological or criminal profiling?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. No other questions, Your Honor.
Okay, Cross. Is that his phone that's getting those messages?
It's someone calling the destination, Your Honor.
I get it. Just hit decline.
I have no control over this computer.
That's all right.
Hold on, I'm just decline.
I gotta tell you, there's now a really good chance that we're being toyed with. Just so you know.
I was there. Nope.
All right.
Is there another phone that we could call into?
It's gonna take.
That's not a cell phone? Is there a
I have somebody
landline
trying
there?
to call in on this phone.
Okay. Turn down the volume. Is there another phone that we can call into that is a landline that we will not have the pop-ups of people calling?
Well, the pop-up that they're calling on
Okay,
is the landline.
hang up the phone.
Yes, Your Honor.
It's off now. It's not hung up, but it's off. You take.
No,
hang up.
I don't want those up on the screen.
Yes, Your Honor.
Going back to that, by the way, but in a way, good, because when I read things like the foundations of capitalism are shattering, I'm like, maybe we need that. Maybe we need some time
where we're walking around with a donkey with pots clanging on the sides.
You think that would just bring us back to reality?
Yeah, because everything is amazing right now, and nobody's happy. Like, in my lifetime, the changes in the world have been incredible. When I was a kid, we had a rotary phone. We had a phone that you had to stand next to, and you had to dial it.
Yes.
You don't realize how primitive, you're making sparks in a phone, and you actually would hate people with zeros in their numbers, because it was more, like, oh, this guy's got 2 zeros, screw that guy, why do I... And then if they called and you weren't home, the phone would just ring lonely by itself. And then if you wanted money, you had to go in the bank for when it was open for like 3 hours. You had to stand in line, write yourself a check like an idiot. And then when you ran out of money, you just go, well, I can't do any more things now. I can't do any more things.
That's it, yeah.
That was it. And even if you had a credit card, the guy would go, oh, and he'd bring out this whole shunk, and he'd write, but you have to call the president to see if you have any money.
It's all true, kids. You had to call the president, yeah. It was ridiculous.
Yes.
Do you feel that we now, in the 21st century, we take technology for granted?
Well, yeah, because now we live in an amazing, amazing world, and it's wasted on the crappiest generation of just spoiled idiots that don't care, because this is what people are like now. They got their phone, and they're like, it won't. Give it a second. It's going to space. Can you give it a second to get back from space? Is the speed of light true? I was on an airplane, and there was internet, high-speed internet on the airplane. That's the newest thing that I know exists. And I'm sitting on the plane. They go, open up your laptop. You can go on the internet. And it's fast, and I'm watching YouTube clips. I'm in an airplane. And then it breaks down. And they apologize. The internet's not working. The guy next to me goes, this is bull. Like, how quickly the world owes him something he knew existed only 10 seconds ago. Right. And on planes, flying is the worst one, because people come back from flights and they tell you their story. And it's like a horror story. They act like their flight was like a cattle car in the 40s in Germany. That's how bad they make it sound. Right. They're like, it was the worst day of my life. First of all, we didn't board for 20 minutes. And then we get on the plane, and they made us sit there on the runway for 40 minutes. We had to sit there. Oh, really? What happened next? Did you fly through the air incredibly like a bird? Did you partake in the miracle of human flight, you non-contributing zero? Fly? You're flying! It's amazing! Everybody on every plane should just constantly be going, oh my God! Wow! Yes! You're flying! You're sitting in a chair in the sky. Yes. Now, Louis, but it doesn't go back a lot. And it's not really. Here's the thing. People, like, they say there's delays on flights. Delays, really? New York to California in 5 hours. That used to take 30 years to do that, and a bunch of you would die on the way there and have a baby. You'd be in a whole different group of people by the time you got there. Now you watch a movie and you take a dump and you're home.
Yeah. Nicer way to say it than that, but yeah, it's
no.
I think that's awesome. Thank you. There's a clap. Thank you. That was Dave, and here is the real Dave, not the virtual Dave of that. And you're probably trying to...
Hi there.
Ooh, that was loud. Are you trying to get...
Sorry. No, I'm not. I'm not going to use a PowerPoint at all today. We're going to have a full interactive session. We'll pull up the whiteboard and we'll all work together.
All right.
I don't think it makes any sense to have this many fun people sitting here. We got an active chat room, and I think we're fine to go. I'll be fine. It'll be good. It'll be good. It'll be good.
All right. Let me lower the volume on my end. Okay.
Oh, wow. We got 95 people here, so we're going to have lots of fun. So what I want you to do right now, Nellie, can you give everybody the authority to write on the whiteboard? Because that would be great.
97?
97 people on the whiteboard. That's what I want to see. Can we do that?
We can do it. If there aren't any people that would abuse the system because they could take us to different places.
I'm not worried about it.
Oh, good, good.
You guys all be good. And
Yeah, behave yourselves.
Ooh, it's an unlimited whiteboard. How exciting. It's coming. It's coming. There we go. Yay. Brand new whiteboard. Now, can I ask everybody to let the whiteboard go? Please stop using the whiteboard. Please stop using the whiteboard. I'm trusting all of you to hold off the whiteboard. Go back to the chat room. Thank you very much. Take the stars off the whiteboard, folks. Now, come on. Am I going to have to remove everybody's access? Now, so that uncertainty, and we're seeing it here, that uncertainty can blow a classroom apart. And people, stop moving the whiteboard. So for me, coming to Moodle was both an effort in trying to organize it and having handy technology and having that structure put in place, but with the concern that the uncertainty that's presented with the internet and the possibilities of connection and the possibilities of having this open space where we can learn in a practical way. Jer, can you stop touching the chat room? Now I see where the names are popping up. Anna, can you let it go? Can we get to the point where everybody stops drawing and stops moving? We're going to try to go back to the whiteboard as a productive process. Is everybody ready? Are you all ready to try the whiteboard again? Okay. Also the thing about teachers, and I mean I teach mostly teachers, is that they don't like not talking. And there's a point at which a lot of them want to be able to come in and make the point. They want to come in and now that we've all, I can't tell you how happy I am that we've gotten to the point where we've actually pulled this structure together. So, I was going to lay the ground rules. I never quite got that far. There we go. We got lots of uncertainty today. See that? The cat that just jumped across the keyboard.
Okay, I think Shakespeare said it really well. Let it be, okay? Or not be. Now, uncertainty, disorder. That's what it's all about. Thank you.
On that note, thanks everybody. I'm going to go and feed my kids lunch.
Right. Oh. There they are.
Posey. That's my Posey. Can you say hi?
Wow, hi Posey. You look beautiful. She doesn't see anybody. She only sees Nellie. But there are a lot of people here who are watching your lovely daughter.
Yeah, there are people.
Thank you.
Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye.
All right. We're going to switch over to some backups here. I have a feeling we might have the same problem. There we go. Yes, I know that. I don't want the cellular data network. Well, geez, I don't like this. All right, let's go back to primaries. I'm afraid I have a problem, and I'm not going to be able to show you much here today. Try one more time here. Boy, I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what's going on. Oh, here. Oh.
Hello there. Nice to see you again. Thank you. All right, go ahead. Okay, I'm going to tell you about complex numbers today. Complex numbers have a real part and an imaginary part. You know what? You're making me nervous stand there. Could you just go hide somewhere? Wait, are you talking to me? Yes, you. Just like get out of the way somewhere, because I don't want to see. It makes me nervous to have two of us here. Like this? Okay, good. Stay there. Thank you. Okay. As I was saying, complex numbers have an imaginary part and a... Hey, I see you there. Go away. Complex numbers have an imaginary part and a real part. I see it's written over there on the whiteboard. If you take a real number plus an imaginary number, then you end up with a complex number. Now, the most important thing about complex numbers is if you take a imaginary number like I... Hey, what's wrong with the connection? That last thing I said was really important. Let me rewind it again so you can see it. So if you take I times I squared, you end up with -1. So that's true for any of the imaginary numbers, because complex numbers are made up... Hey, what is this thing? I don't know what this is, but I don't know why this keeps happening. I'm just going to get rid of this. And so it won't happen again. Let me move this over all the way to the... There we go. Now it won't... You know what? Wait a second here. Did you start me an Internet Explorer? What were you thinking? You know what? I got to start a better browser here. Let's see here. Okay. Much better. Okay. Now, back to complex numbers. They have the imaginary part and a real part. But you know what? This has gotten me thinking. I'm having a bit of a philosophical crisis here. You know, maybe you really do need a real teacher. I feel like the imaginary part... Well, I'm a real teacher. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to have to turn it back over to you. I don't know if I can do this anymore. So, okay. Back to you. Thanks. All right. Well, thanks anyway. Hey, excuse me. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to be a distraction. Sorry about that. Actually, you know what? Let me just exit out of this, and then we can... All right, that's a good idea.
Joe, what are you doing there?
It's a video. It's a picture. I don't know.
What's going on?
Well, this is this is like a foreign tool.
Okay. You said you were having a problem earlier?
Oh yeah. Wait, where's it? Yeah. So I want to read more about Frederick Douglass, or maybe like see a larger image. So I double-clicked on the picture, but nothing's happening.
Oh.
And then I can't really read the text because it's kind of small. So looking for the system preferences so I can make the text bigger, but can't find anything.
Laura, you said there was a problem involved?
You can't double-click the image because it's not blue highlighted.
Oh.
And the words you don't know, they're not blue highlighted, so you can't.
Well, wait, cotton is king. That's blue.
Yeah, it might be.
What are you doing there? What? It's what?
It might be a link, Joe. Click on it.
Nothing's happening.
What's wrong, Joe?
I don't know. There's so many like.
Joe, drag that picture. You could save it. That could be useful.
I don't even have a folder anywhere to put it in. Like if I drag it, it would just be like right here.
Wait, how are you doing that? You're like changing the pages.
I know. It's like.
Are you just clicking through? What's going on?
It's like micro technology. No, I'm just turning like the page.
Okay.
But it's like micro technology, so like everything is inside the page.
Inside the page?
Wait,
that's insane.
Is Rushmore
All right. Well, I hope we'll check back later to see if you fixed your problem.
Okay.